Hockey fans, welcome to another great edition of BoardCheck. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. This is Impact Media's weekly drive through the neutral zone into the world of professional hockey. So much I want to get into tonight. First off, happy opening night. Had three big games tonight, one of which is already over by the time we have started recording this. For people who are worried about it, the Panthers were able to defeat the Blackhawks 3-2. And as of right now, it is Penguins 1, Rangers 0. It tells you when we are actually talking about this. But happy opening night, the NHL this year. It's October. That means all the fun stuff are going to happen. Now, once again, if you are new to this show, welcome in. We are in season 11. We have been doing this show for a long, long time. It's the longest show that we have done, the longest show that I have done. For sure, I did a show before this, if you go way back into my history, but it was not hockey related. But this is the longest tenured show. It actually predates Impact Media. We were not called Impact Media when we first started BoardCheck, but couldn't be more excited to be in season 11. As you guys can maybe tell, tonight we are going to talk some Hurricanes. We're going to talk some Nashville Predators. We are going to talk some Atlanta Gladiators, KSU men's and women's hockey, and we have added a new team to our coverage. And I will get into that story when we get there. But first, let's start with the NHL action. All right. So I told you guys about all the games that are going, or the games that have either started or already happened tonight. There are still the Avalanche at the Kings that is going to kick off about 10:30. There are also 4 games, a double header tomorrow. As the Canadiens and Maple Leafs will puck drop at 7, Bruins Capitals at 7:30, followed by Flames Oilers at 10. Kings Golden Knights at 10 as well. But the main opening night is going to be on Thursday, October the 9th. That is just a couple of days from right now. Both Carolina and Nashville are going to kick off that night. Carolina is going to host the New Jersey Devils. That is a 7:30 puck drop there. And if anybody knows anything, the Carolina Hurricanes do not like the New Jersey Devils. There's been some small rivalries over the years between these teams. I mean, we can get into the usual suspects if you really want to hear them. The leaders, the overall leaders from last year. Of course, Seth Jarvis was the goal leader for the Hurricanes. He had 32. Could he continue that? Boy, I'd really like him to, but I feel like he's going to end up with about 27 this year. I mean, but if he wants to get on that blistering pace he was last year, then 35 or 40 goals could be in the mix. Not to be outdone, the assist leader is Sebastian Aho at 45. He is basically the face of the franchise for those of you who don't follow the Hurricanes. And then, of course, Aho had 74 total points to lead in that. When you get into goaltending, you get into Frederick Anderson, who had some health-related issues last year, notwithstanding, not just getting dinged up here and there. He actually had blood clots at some point. Those are scary. Seems to have gotten those pretty well subsided for now, last I heard. He had a 13-8-1 record, a 2.5 goals against average, and a 8.99 save percentage. He also had 1 shutout. Now, of course, more than likely, let's just say more than likely the starter is Pyotr Kochetkov, the big-time prospect from a couple years ago. He has worked his way through the system, and he has been on the main roster thanks to Frederick Anderson and Antti Ranta until he moved on, having some injury-related issues as well. But Kochetkov seems to be encompassed as the starter, at least as far as I know. I mean, who knows what Rod Brindamore is going to do, the head coach. But he was 27, 16, and 3 last year with a 2.6 goals against average, a 8.98 save percentage, and two shutouts on the year. For people who I said this, I believe I said this the last couple of weeks, but for people who are not familiar with the Hurricanes, they are a perennial Stanley Cup Finals favorite every year. They've got the big, loaded team with veterans and emerging stars, and just have been on top since Rod Brindamore got here. A long time, a good long time. Um, they've made the final. They have gotten really close. Have not hoisted the cup quite yet, but it seems like it's just always right in the grasp. They are. They are. It's a hard equivalent because they don't just buy people like other teams, and they don't, just hockey's different. Just know that they are like that perennial juggernaut every year, and they're going to win a majority of their games. They are going to dominate a lot of those games, and that's just the type of team that they are. But as far as them versus the Devils, I feel like they should beat the Devils about 3-1. We will see what happens. I mean, these two teams were only separated by 5 games last year, with the Hurricanes having the better record. They were 47-30-5. It's going to be a pretty good battle out of the gate. And that's just a known thing. But I think the Hurricanes will come out victorious. We talk about the Nashville Predators. They are going to, on Thursday the 9th as well, at a 8 p.m. puck drop, they are going to host the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets, who won 10 more games than they did last year. Your overall leaders, you had Philip Forsberg, who had 31 goals, Philip Forsberg, who had 45 assists, and Philip Forsberg, who had, do the math real quick, 76 total points. I know what you're saying. Pretty one-sided that he scored all those things. Well, not so much. Yes, Philip Forsberg is the returning veteran and superstar of this team. Yes, he gets a lot of the attention and a lot of the points. But they have, where Nashville is at the current moment, we'll talk about their goaltending in a minute, where Nashville is at the current moment, is they are that team that a couple years ago hit the reset button. They moved on from some veterans and some contracts they had. They kept their core nucleus, and they started bringing up people from either the AHL or the ECHL that had played, these pods of players that had played together before. And you want them to emerge, you want them to grow, and you want them to integrate with the veterans you brought in, like Steven Stamkos and others, and Jonathan Marchessault. So you can't do that without good goaltending, and they have just that. UC Saros might be, if he's depending on which list you ask, he is either number 1 or number 2 in the league overall. Maybe he's 3 on some lists, but he's either number 1 or number 2. I would say him and Connor Hellebuck are right there. It's hard to discount that guy in Florida too, Bob Roski. That's probably 1, 2, and 3, at least on my list. He was 20, 31, and 6 last year. Didn't have the world's greatest year record-wise, with a 2.98 goals against average and 8.96 save percentage, and he had 4 shutouts. Told you he's good. So you got to think 4 of his 20, so 1/5 of his victories were shutouts. 1 out of every 5. That's impressive. Not to be outdone, fellow countryman, I believe, Eustace Annunen was 15, 15, and 1 with a 3.18 goals against average and 883 save percentage, and he had no shutouts. But they traded for him part of the way through the year, so I'm not sure how much of that record is actually his Nashville numbers, but they traded not because UC Saros is ready to retire, but nope, you need a quality backup behind him, and you need that young player just in case. And so they kind of got the best of both worlds there, and were able to bring in a young goaltender who is a lot like UC Saros. Not quite there on the talent level yet, but it's a great person to have the two of them work together. and it really sets them up for some good things moving forward. Now, for people who need a geography lesson, from here in Atlanta, you can go kind of northeast and you will end up in Raleigh, which is where the Hurricanes play. Or you can go almost due north and end up where the Predators play. The weird part about it is the Predators are in the Western Conference, at least for now. I think they're going to redo them at some point and maybe put them in the East, but they are part of the Western Conference. So we have an East and a West. There's very much a chance that we could get Hurricanes and Predators in the Stanley Cup. I, for one, would enjoy that. But both teams will puck drop on Thursday. One at 8 or one at 7:30 with that's Carolina and New Jersey, and Nashville and Columbus rather will puck drop at 8 p.m. We are going to talk more Atlanta Gladiators somewhere down the road, but for now I'm just going to tell you that their opening night is next Saturday, October the 18th. They will be hosting Utah, I believe. And it is also KSU Hockey Night. So if you want to support the Gladiators, or if you want to support KSU Hockey and or both, that's a game worth going to. Like I said, we'll talk more Gladiators later on, especially next week with the season kicking off. Okay, KSU men. They have their home opening series this weekend. That will be Friday night at the Atlanta Ice House at 8:15 and Saturday night at 8:45 at, once again, the Atlanta Ice House. That is just past campus, just past the Town Center Mall. And they call it Marietta. I call it Kennesaw. It is it's right behind the Publix that is right past, was that 575 or 75? You guys know, you go under 75, you go under 575, and then there's Publix on the left. Well, you turn before the Publix, go back behind the outlets there, and you will see the Atlanta Ice House. It's pretty easy to get to, and it's a nice place. There's plenty of seats. There's plenty of seating. We want to pack it out like we did last year. As far as the crew, we've got some great interns that I can't wait to work with, and meet for that matter. Talked to them all summer, and we haven't met any of them. Amy is back on the in-house PA. She does a fantastic job there. Connor Whelan is, I believe, the camera guy once again in the booth with me. And of course, I do play-by-play for YouTube. If you ever want to have a good time or listen to something fun wherever you're at on a Friday or a Saturday, tune into the KSU Owls Hockey YouTube, and I promise to keep you entertained for a couple hours. They're going to be facing Central Florida for both of those games, and looking forward to them kicking off. They've had kind of a weird start. Not sure if they're just trying to get their bearings or just trying to maybe it's been all the travel. But not off to the world's best start yet. I've talked to some of the players, and they said it seems like everything's starting to click a little better. So I look forward to seeing what's going to happen this Friday and this Saturday. And come out and see us. Come out and see us. I enjoy seeing you guys and talking hockey. And I promise you, if you're in the intermission, you want to talk hockey or you want to ask anything about anything we cover here, I promise you I'll talk. But they get their home opener this weekend, as I said. The women, their next game will be next. That would be next. Doing math real quick. We don't have a calendar in front of me. October 19th at UGA. That is a Sunday. And we wish all the women the best. I had a great time doing some calling the opening games for them. They have 7 total players. They are still doing open tryouts in case there are any young women who would like to come play college hockey. They are a great group. I met a couple of them so far. Looking forward to meeting the rest of them later. I have said all of their names many, many times because of great things they did on the ice in those two games, and I know they will continue to do amazing things this year. And I implore you, it costs $0 to tell people about KSU men's and women's hockey, and you should be doing that. And try to listen in. I mean, I don't know if they're going to post some of their stuff or not. I'm sure they will. Make sure to do that. It was a lot of fun to call it. There was some weird technical issues. We worked through some of them. The rest of them, I'll be honest, that's on me. I should send them some of the clips and things that we had. But other than that, man, KSU hockey. Get into KSU hockey. They are doing some fantastic stuff, and they are great to come and watch. And then lastly, told you guys we have added a team to our coverage. For this, we were considered it because they were about as local as the Atlanta Gladiators are to where we are, and they are a really fun squad. I've kind of kept up here and there, kind of watched them a little bit from afar over the last few years, and like I said, not only were we considering talking about them a little bit this year, but I had a member of the organization reach out and maybe me and this particular member have a history elsewhere. I'll let you guys kind of do the investigation work here. And he said, hey, if you would ever like to come cover a Columbus River Jackets, not River Jackets, River Dragons game, yep, we're going to add Columbus. If you ever want to come cover a Columbus game, let me know. You are always welcome. Which, first off, humbling and means the world to me, to that person. And I don't want to say their name yet. I want you guys to really investigate, and that person will be on this show very, very soon. I promise you. But I said that's actually kind of funny. That's something we were looking at this year, was maybe coming to check out a game or two down in Columbus this season, and I very much think about taking them up on their offer. So Columbus, we want to welcome the Columbus River Dragons fans to BoardCheck and our coverage. And we look, hey, maybe we get a couple of their players on. We don't know. You guys as fans need to tell us what you want to see on here. Now, keep in mind, on the NHL level, there's a lot more hoops to jump through. So, if you want UC Saros on, if you want Rod Brindamore on, I'll do my best. We do have friends at both, at all the teams that we cover. If you want to hear more about KSU, we were going to do our best to have them on. And definitely Columbus. Now that Columbus is part of the BoardCheck network, absolutely. We definitely want to hear from all of you. And we look forward to hearing from all of you this year. But we are going to call that a show for tonight, because no action has really happened this week. It's all going to happen later this week. Like I said, KSU men's and women's KSU men are going to have their home openers Friday and Saturday night. Come check that out if you're in the Kennesaw area. Kennesaw is just a handful of minutes outside of Atlanta, folks. So let's not pretend like Kennesaw is out in the middle of nowhere. Nashville is going to host the Columbus Blue Jackets at 8 p.m. on Thursday, kick off their season. And Carolina is going to host the New Jersey Devils at 7:30 on the same night. I did not mention real quick, the Columbus River Dragons are actually going to kick off their season this Friday at the PD Ice Cats. For people who don't know, the PD Ice Cats play up in Florence, South Carolina. It is a lovely town. I have family that is from there. I always enjoy the Florence area. But that's a 7:15 puck drop there. And Columbus fans, I feel for you, because the first home games for you guys are not till November. The next 3 weekends, your team will be out of town. But you can hit up their website, hit up their social medias, tell them the Impact sent you, tell them BoardCheck sent you. I promise you they will know who it is, who we are. And Um, there's so many ways to watch and listen. They've set up a whole media network that it has a lot to do with the person that I mentioned earlier that did not mention his name. You know what? I'm going to mention his name anyway because he is the new voice of the Columbus River Dragon, and he is not only friend of the show, more importantly, good friend of mine, Liam Godimer. Yep, Liam Godimer used former Atlanta Gladiators voice for all of their games. He is down in Columbus. He is down in Columbus, and he is the one who reached out and said, "Love to have you," and I would absolutely love to be a part of that. So tell Liam that the impact or that Jeremy said hello when you run into him, and Columbus fans enjoy having one of the best voices in the game calling all of your biggest moments. But speaking of biggest moments, we have reached the end of this one. We will have so much more coverage later on next week because almost everybody will have kicked off by then. The Gladiators will kick off next week, and that will have everybody back going again. We'll have some fun content if you want to catch us on the social medias, the Impact 99, Impact underscore media underscore on YouTube for everything but this show, and then at BoardCheck 99. This is the only show that has its own YouTube channel because it's that old. We've been doing 11 seasons, so it was way before everything else. But other than that, I am Jeremy the Impact York. Appreciate you guys tuning in to another great edition of BoardCheck. We will see you guys next week. Happy opening day, NHL. Deuces, gooses. Go Canes. Go Glads. Go Preds. Go River Dragons. Go Owls. Go Owls again. Go Glads. We'll see you next week.